Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. It is a major leap forward for women in Africa and their shared aspirations for gender equality following the launch of the We Are Equal campaign of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu, while formally launching the campaign, says his administration is ready to work with relevant stakeholders towards a future where no Nigerian child is excluded from equality education, irrespective of gender.
Believing and working hard, we will follow. Yes, we are equal.
The campaign is a project of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development aimed at driving gender mainstreaming and women empowerment. Already launched in about 15 countries across the continent, the campaign focuses on health, sexual violence and other different aspects of life. In Nigeria, the campaign takes a firm root in the vision of the First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, who in 2007 established the first alternative high school for girls in Lagos to offer another opportunity to young out-of-school women.
An alternative high school provides another opportunity for students to achieve their aspiration and demonstration to the belief that it is never too late to pursue your dreams.
The focus of the campaign in Nigeria is expected to build a future where gender equity will be a reality. Well, it drew the applause of other African First Ladies. Appreciation and expression of commitment towards the campaign also came from Education Minister Professor Tahir Mamman and development partners. In other news, 4,200 small-scale farmers have benefited from President Tinubu's agricultural support project under the Northeast Development Commission in Bauchi State. The exercise, which is expected to cut across the 6 northeastern states ravaged by the insurgency, was conducted under the supervision of the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Political and Intergovernmental Affairs. Abdullahi Aminu reports.
Rice and maize seeds, liquid and solid fertilizers, pesticides, and water pump machines were part of the agricultural inputs distributed to the farmers. The exercise, which was conducted through the Tinubu Support Group of Lobito, under the Office of Senior Special Assistant to President on Political and Intergovernmental Affairs, Shehu Darazo, is a free donation towards achieving the President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
Yeah, rural farmers that stay in the rural area, and as you can see, the rainy season is just quite approaching, and then these the seedlings, the pesticide and the fertilizer come at the right time.
We really appreciate because they help us in the right time.
Representatives of both rainy and dry seasons farmers groups, local governments ambassadors, and the overseers of all APC political party wards in Bauchi State are the beneficiaries of the gesture.
It's not loan. They are not returning anything. This is just to empower them, to give them, to encourage them to go back to their farms. As the president has been saying that we need to go back to the farm, we need to feed ourselves. So this will encourage them.
The exercise also aimed at ensuring an adequate food security for the region and the country at large.
The beneficiaries, not to sell the items given to them, but to go and use it for the purpose they were given.
The beneficiaries were advised to ensure proper utilization of the inputs for the realization of the food security target by the Tinubu administration. In Bauchi, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
To win the war against banditry, retired military officers are urging the federal government to leverage their wealth of experience to complement efforts of security agencies and the civilian population. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was at a meeting of retired military officers in Abuja. Older persons who have served the nation in different capacities to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. They are not relenting in ensuring that the nation remains safe, peaceful, and habitable for all.
Officers are men that are versatile, people who are clued up, lieutenant to general. These people individually, there's every possibility that they have ideas for the nation, good ideas. However, when they come together, some of these ideas can be channeled, structured for the benefit of the nation itself. So that is one of the important functions.
The engagement, comprising retired military officers in the Army, Navy and Air Force, is also organized to help the association come up with activities to foster togetherness and address the needs of retired officers. There is a growing concern about the increasing number of youths and teenagers serving jail terms and awaiting trials at the Nigerian correctional facilities across the country. Well, our correspondent, Yemi Dalemo, visited a correctional center in Abuja, Osun State capital, and now reports.
A survey conducted by the Nigerian Correctional Service on the population of convicts and persons awaiting trials shows that the facilities are 37% filled above their normal capacity. According to the survey, the facilities have the capacity to accommodate 53,083 inmates, but currently house 70,056 inmates. Many believe that the continuous increase in population, rural-urban migration, and high unemployment rates are responsible for criminal activities, thereby resulting in congestions of correctional centers. During a recent jail delivery exercise conducted by the Chief Judge of Osun State, Mosumola Dikpeolu, it was observed that there is an increase in the number of youths serving or awaiting trials at the facilities. This worrisome development is calling for attention.
We parents, we have a lot to do, because all the crime that have been committed this time around are from underage. And from there now, the grassroots, they graduated. If you go to the average of those that are on crime this time around, they are teenagers, adolescent to say, adolescent, and partly adult. So in that wise, we parents, we have a lot to do. I cannot blame government, but we parents, we have a lot to do.
The judiciary now have to tackle what it described as slow adjudication of justice, as Osun State Chief Judge believes that periodic jail delivery exercises will help decongest the facilities, while also charging stakeholders to be alive to their responsibilities and save the nation from the growing trend.
Jail delivery exercise is not the only solution to the congestion of prisons. No. Expansion of prisons. If we have more people committing crime, let's have more space to accommodate them, for them to serve their punishment.
Correctional centers serve as a rehabilitation facility for those who have violated the rules and regulations of the society. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA.
Right, we join our correspondent live now in Abuja, Yemi Dalemo. Yemi, from your report, the judge, made her stand on expansion of correctional centers so that criminals or people who are found guilty can serve their jail term. But again, the issue of juveniles or youths, occupying more space is the concern here. You visited one of the correctional centers there. What are your findings?
Thank you, Ruth, for joining us in Abuja, the Osun State capital. Behind me is the Ibara Correctional Center, one of the 5 centers that we have in Osun State. Actually, we have 5 correctional centers in Ogun State. We have 2 in Abeokuta, 1 in Ilaru, 1 in Shagamu, and the last one in Ijebu-Ode. It was during the visit of the Chief Judge of Ogun State, Justice Mosomola Dipeolu, to correctional centers in Ogun State, which I was part of, that I took an observatory look at the inmates there, and I discovered the number of youths and teenagers, those of ages 19, 20, serving various forms of jail sentences. And I have to ask the officer in charge that we spoke with during that report, that what is happening. It made me to understand that the prevalence of illicit drug use in the society is what is responsible, leading some of these youths into crime, and when they commit such crime, they were arrested, they were detained, and they were brought into this remand home. Some of them who are less than 18 are taken to juvenile home. We also have one juvenile home in Abeokuta where they are being reformed. Actually, they are doing well. The place is not that overcrowded like we have now. Now, I now go further to ask that what is it that we can do? Because having a number of our youths in prison, teenagers, people of 18, 19, being behind bars is a serious concern. And he told me that parents, guardians, and the families that are the first agents of socialization, they have a lot to do. He was even quoting the Bible for me, where he said that train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. I actually believe in the quotation that he cited, because parents need a lot of work to do, not leaving their responsibility, their roles to the hands of any other person, but they are the ones that can monitor their words, that can put them in the proper line, the line which they should go. And also the society too was suggested that they have a role to play. The faith-based organizations such as churches and our mosques, they should also help in preaching the message that the youth needs, that will change their focus from all these vices that are resulting into what we are having now. And also, indeed, the government also have something to do to reduce this trend.
All right,
and
Yemi.
Actually, if all this put together...
Go ahead, conclude your thoughts.
Yes.
Go ahead, Yemi.
Now, if all these efforts are put together, we are of the opinion that the increased number of youth and teenagers that we have behind bars will actually be addressed.
All right, Yemi, you've hit the nail on the head. Thank you so much. We just hope that what you've called for, talking about holistic and collective effort, should be put into consideration. Family values is very important. Yemi Dalemo there reporting for us from Abeokuta. Thank you, Yemi.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's turn our attention to other issues. The Northeast Development Commission has trained 30 youths selected from 16 local government areas of Taraba State in solar power installation. Correspondent Bem Hanya reports that the beneficiaries were given starter packs and grants at a graduation ceremony in Jalingo, the state capital.
Taraba State and other parts of the northeast region of Nigeria are experiencing a blackout occasioned by the vandalization of 4 transmission towers along the Jos-Gombe line. Incidentally, the region, experts say, produces an average of 10 hours of underutilized sunshine a day, which is the resource used to generate solar power. It is against this backdrop that the training by the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, of youths in Taraba State on solar power installation to power homes for agriculture and the national grid becomes appropriate. Coordinator of the NEDC in Taraba State, Bashir Hamanjoda Ngoroje, told beneficiaries to be employers of with their new skills and endeavor to train others when they return to their communities.
Our own aims and objectives is to make sure that our youth are not roaming about on the streets.
The instructor, Michael Emeka Okegbu, called on the public to embrace solar power as it is a safe and affordable renewable energy source.
So with this training, I want to really assure all our audience and those who are willing to appreciate the fact that solar is the way forward to key into the renewable energy.
Some of the beneficiaries expressed their joy over the knowledge they have acquired.
For now, I have this tool that I can even start mounting some. A person can call me for any work.
I will pick it as my handwork. I will make sure it will be my own handwork because this is what I learned.
The components of the training were solar panels, charge controllers, DC batteries and fuse, cables and inverters. In Jalingo, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
Lagos will be our first point where we join Michael to bring us some reports. Michael?
Thank you, Ruth. Removing impediments to the disbursement of the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, CVFF, will not only stimulate the activation of local capacity in fleet expansion and ship repairs, but will stop the annual loss of $1 trillion to its non-implementation. These and other major issues were at the front burner as maritime stakeholders brainstorm on realigning the sector for growth. Correspondent reports that the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, says the National Ship Registry will be automated. Knowing fully well that the maritime sector and the blue economy by extension has the potential of transforming the country positively, the expectation from key players here is high. And as a starting point to meeting the high hopes, this gathering believes putting in place a credible and efficient ship register, having cargoes for readily available ships, and most importantly, disbursing the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, CVFF, will show a glimpse of achieving set goals. This renowned maritime lawyer says developing standard and application of technology will drive accountability in meeting the huge demand.
NIMASA not only has the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, it also has the Maritime Fund. For the life of me, I've never heard anybody asking about the Maritime Fund. Yet the Maritime Fund, by my estimation, even though it may be wrong, will inherit much more funds than the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund.
Other stakeholders called for interagency collaboration and the need to be well equipped to tap from the new window of opportunities available for operators.
If there is proper standardization, there will be a lot of opening for capital influx, and which is required for shipping, because you cannot be able to invest in shipping if there is no capital.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency promised to rigorously pursue innovations that will speed up the growth of the industry.
Some of the things that we have in mind has been said here. Example is the automation of the ship registry, and I can assure you it will happen very, very quickly.
The consensus going forward is that implementing crucial recommendations will unlock the growth envisaged in the sector. Pope Francis has advised Christian faithful to carefully explore positive aspects of AI that promotes technology without devaluing humanity. The Catholic Archbishop of Lagos emphasized this message as part of activities to commemorate World Communications Day. Adiola Komiakiri reports.
Intelligence, AI, simply means computers performing complex tasks with speed and accuracy that only humans could hitherto perform. In spite of a development, however, there are concerns about this technology and the dangers it portends for man. In his message to practitioners, Pope Francis urges humanity to cultivate wisdom of the heart in the age of artificial intelligence and grow in humanity. The Catholic Archbishop of Lagos, who reiterated the Pope's message, said the Church realizes that AI, artificial intelligence, is a reality and enjoined mankind to see its value and avoid the negative use of a technology.
We should not look at all the negatives and therefore say this is of no benefit. But at the same time, we should not idolize artificial intelligence to the extent that we are so taken up by all that it is able to do that we are not able to recognize its shortcomings.
Communication workers, while speaking on the day, thanked God for another year, promising to work assiduously in their various fields of endeavor.
AI should make us sit up and make us do our job correctly. AI should not make us to be docile. I just pray that it is going to be for the good of the world, the church, and then every other person that is involved.
The world has become digital, so we have to follow and make good use of it.
The World Communications Day, which was first observed in 1967, is to encourage all to reflect on the opportunities and challenges that the modern means of social communication affords all. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
That is it from here. Nationwide, we continue in just after this break. Do stay.
Many thanks for joining us in JOS. Governor Caleb Mutfwang has described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a passionate and sensitive leader who listens to the cry of the vulnerable. The governor was speaking while receiving the presidential palliatives from National Emergency Management Agency in JOS. Caleb Gochin reports.
The consignment consists of 975 metric tons of assorted grains, made up of 372 metric tons of maize, 442 metric tons of sorghum, and 161 metric tons of millet. Governor Mutfwang commended the president for being a caring leader whose ears are always on ground for the masses. He disclosed that the state government will augment with 26,979 bags of rice.
It is my prayer that next year we will not need to supply palliatives, that we will be able to farm sufficiently to be able to provide food security for our people and be able to drive hunger from every home in Nigeria.
Director General of National Emergency Management Agency, represented by the head of operations, NEMA, Bashir Garga, says to ensure transparency and accountability, the items will be distributed by a committee comprising all relevant authorities.
The president has to come up with this measure to assist the state governments who are doing their best from the strategic grain reserve so that it can augment what they have on ground.
By all means, we will insist that the right people that deserve to receive this encouragement do receive them.
The officials encourage Nigerians to embrace agriculture for food sufficiency. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
Plateau State government is asking stakeholders in the agricultural sector to redouble efforts towards boosting food production. Governor Caleb Mutfwang gave the charge while addressing youths from Plateau State undergoing training in modern farming in Kefi, Nasarawa State. Ndayang and Ebagang has the report.
To boost agriculture in Plateau State, the state government resolved to train youths in agribusiness and skills acquisition for self-reliance. Elated by the presence of the governor at a modern farm in Kefi, Nasarawa State, the trainees were full of gratitude to have been chosen to benefit from the exercise. Governor Mutfwang charged the trainees to make good use of the training they received to boost agriculture and add value to the economy of the state. He explained that government did not influence their selection process, but on the basis that all of them are citizens of the state. The governor urged the beneficiaries of the training to lay a solid foundation for their growth and as well train others.
You are the pioneers of this trade. The grace of God, as you return home next week, we are not going to allow this dream to die. We build your capacity as an entrepreneur to discover what value you can add to the life of the people of Plateau State.
Some of the beneficiaries commended the state government for its wisdom, promising not to disappoint it.
We believe that technology holds the future and youth are the future. So we learn technology in agriculture and how to invest on a modern farming system.
Gone are the days that agribusiness used to be just farms and all, but now I've known so many things about processing and all.
From poultry farming, fish farming, the agribusiness side.
In Denyan and the Abajang, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos Nationwide continues with roots in our Abuja studio.
Thank you very much, Mary. A one-day consultancy service for capacity building, disaster management and emergency response, development, training and support service for the youth was organized by Ministry of Niger Development. The program is aimed at equipping youths in Udu local government area of Delta State. Oyinye Joshua Ifeanyi reports.
Capacity building, disaster management and emergency response training held simultaneously with the training on production of household needs for the sake of empowering youths in Oroworu, Udu local government area with the aim of meaningfully engaging the youths. Representative of the Minister, Federal Ministry of Niger Delta Development, Abubakar Momo, said in the past there has been youth restiveness and the ministry is determined to carry out these exercises in communities all over the state.
There is every need to develop these youths in terms of training and empower them so that they will be self-dependent.
The Chief Administrative Officer on Economic Empowerment Department, Ministry of Niger Delta Development, Nkechi Norom, has this to say.
For youths, vulnerables and women, for empowerment, for self-reliance, to equip them and then empower them with some token.
A resource person who took the attendees on various tips and procedures of the product making charged the participants to impact on others what they have learned for the betterment of the society. Some of the participants lauded the Ministry of Niger Delta Development for this initiative.
Today we have learned a lot from this program. We have learned how to be empowered. And from here, we are going to go back to our respective states to develop the knowledge.
This training indeed has actually give some of the participants or all the participants the knowledge of producing cream, making soaps and detergents.
They were trained on how to produce petroleum jellies, chemicals for cleaning tiles, liquid antiseptic and other items for household use. Onyinye Joshua Ifeanyi, NTA News.
A look at politics ahead of the Edo and Ondo governorship elections. INEC has announced date for the resumption of continuous voter registration exercise in the two states. Mia Ogidi reports on this and other issues as INEC meets political parties in Abuja.
The twin brothers by name, Edo and Ondo states, on the political news again, as they set to renew the leadership, September and November respectively, and INEC meeting leaders of the political parties on series of issues. First, no voter will be deprived of participating.
As the elections in the two states approach, the Commission has decided to resume the continuous voter registration from Monday, 27th May 2024 to Wednesday, 5th June 2024, from 9 in the morning to 3 p.m. daily, including the weekend. There will be no online pre-registration option in the two states because of time constraint. Again, we encourage those who have not collected their PVCs in the two states to seize the opportunity to do so.
As the voters prepare for the polls, another reminder from INEC.
Let me therefore seize this opportunity to once again reiterate to party leaders the need to continue to maintain law and order during the electioneering process and beyond.
Just a quick one on two issues. First, the electoral violence that led to the suspension of by-elections in Kano and Enugu states sorted out, and a new date for the conclusion will be soon announced, INEC chairman confirmed. And also, INEC has received notification on the conduct of 4 by-elections, though no date yet. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Nigeria has the potential for food sufficiency if the agricultural food value chain is properly harnessed to address challenges of food shortage in order to boost the country's gross domestic product. Well, this is a submission of an economic expert and agriculturist as farmers in Benue State kickstart the wet farming season. Moses Ode reports.
In recent times, growing food inadequacies has been on the increase as reported by the World Bank Food Program that about 26.5 million people across Nigeria are projected to face acute hunger in 2024. To address this challenge, an economic expert hinted that boosting the agroeconomic value chain remains the sure way to go.
In Nigeria, most of these things we don't produce them. We import them from other countries. And of course, when you buy those things from these foreign countries, you bring them to Nigeria, you are buying them for a gain. So we talk about imported inflation, and that is what is happening in Nigeria.
With the varieties of food crops and rich arable land in Benue, the relative scarcity of some agricultural produce in the state is attributed to delay or non-availability of farm inputs.
The federal government is still promising to distribute inputs, and farmers are already waiting. Like in Benue State, we have aggregated over 53,000 farmers for the program. And once it starts, farmers will go in. We're waiting.
The Executive Governor of Benue State is determined to push miles on the Benue farmers, and I think the quantity and the number of metric tons that will be produced for these croppings will be far more than what we had last year.
In Makudi, Moses Ajao Udi, NTA News.
All right, farmers are confident of bountiful harvest this year. Let's join our correspondent Moses there at the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Moses, tell us the situation report on the availability of farm inputs for the 2024 cropping season. Of course, you know, food security is one of the 8 priority areas of the federal government.
Hello, Ruth. Glad to see you again. You agree with me that Benue State has over time positioned itself as the food basket of the nation, owing to arrays of agricultural produce ranging from cassava, yam, sesame, and a host of others. But what makes the story interesting this time, since the assumption of office by the incumbent administration, is that he has made farm inputs a major priority. And when he assumed office, he made sure that he made provision for over 100 trucks of farm inputs, fertilizer to farmers. And he has also promised to to double the effort this farming season. And as we speak, paperwork has been completed to ensure that over 200 trucks arrive the state within the next week. And distribution of this product will commence immediately across the 272 wards of the state. So that's the situation at the moment. And the Deputy Director, Agric Service, has promised that the distribution is going to be seamless, just like last year. And you agree with me that if this is done, Benue farmers will, have no fear of achieving the bumper harvest which has been projected. So that's the situation at the moment.
All right, thank you, Moses. We have to keep the food basket of the nation bountiful. Thank you very much, and let's keep that hope alive. All right, our correspondent there from Makurdi. We head to Ibadan now to join Lanre. He has our next set of reports. Lanre.
Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, has called for a synergy between citizens and leaders for a thriving nation to emerge. He stated these while commissioning a project at Government House in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Femi Afariogun has the details.
Former President Olusegun Obasanjo is on a 3-day visit to Osun State. As part of activities lined up for him, the former president inaugurated the VIP lodge of the Government House in Osogbo, started by the previous administration. He commended the governor for embarking on various developmental projects across the state. While describing Osun as a secured and peaceful state, Chief Obasanjo advised the governor to synergize more with security agencies.
Nigeria is a complex country. But Nigeria is not a difficult country to rule. You have to be honest with your conscience, with your people, with the people, and with your God.
Governor Ademola Adeleke, who appreciated the former president for honoring the state, assured him that he would continue to salvage public funds and assets from waste.
We are showing results of our policy of completing all abandoned projects by previous administration.
During his stay in Osun State, the former president, Chief Obasanjo, will be attending the coronation of Governor Ademola Adeleke as the Asiwaju leader of Ede Town. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
The Nigerian army has assured its men of necessary support to enhance their professionalism and discipline in combating contemporary security challenges. General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Obinna Onubogu, stated these at a competition in Ibadan. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole reports.
Winners, overall winners, is 2D Garrison, Public HO Battalion with the first position.
Though a rigorous competition among troops from 6 different formations and units covering 6 states in Nigeria under the 2 division of the Nigerian Army, the outcome showed their preparedness to excel in the task ahead of them as soldiers. The troops had for a whole week competed in drill, combat swimming, map reading, weapon handling, and obstacle crossing, which saw soldiers of 2 Brigade Garrison, 81 Brigade, clinch the best overall, having led in combat swimming, weapon handling, and obstacle crossing. 32 Artillery Brigade Akure second, and 4 Brigade Benue came third. General Officer Commanding 2 Division, Major General Obinna Onubogu, while declaring the competition closed, expressed confidence in the combat readiness of the troops.
We as a division have an objective to keep this division running, to keep it combat ready, and to make sure that our troops are always ready for challenges that we face within the nation.
The GOC further pledged the commitment of officers and soldiers of the division to the command philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
Those are the trending reports from Ibadan this hour. Nationwide continues with Asmau at our Sokoto Network Center after this break. Stay with us.
And welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. Philanthropists, individuals and groups have been asked to embrace endowment wakaf with a view to impact positively on socio-economic well-being of the less privileged in the society. This was at a one-day interactive session with directors and principals of some selected secondary schools on Students' Wakaf Cooperative Society, jointly organized by Sokoto State Zakat and Wakaf Commission, Ministries for Basic and Science and Technology. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
The Sokoto State Zakat and Wakaf Commission is at this engagement educating the directors and principals of schools as well as other stakeholders the importance of students' cooperative Wakaf and the need for revival and establishment of Zakat and Endowment student volunteer committees in schools across the state. Chairman Sokoto State Zakat and Wakaf Commission, Muhammad Lawal Medoki, stressed the need for Muslims to imbibe the culture of giving out zakat to purify their wealth and touch the lives of the needy in the society.
What we are trying to achieve as our own modest contribution towards the development of the state and towards combating poverty in the state and towards attainment of the SDG 2030 in Sokoto State.
Officials of the 2 ministries pledged to sensitize students on the development to achieve the desired goals. The event featured paper presentation Wakaf with the theme Establishment of Student Wakaf Cooperative Society and Revival of the CAT and Endowment Student Volunteer Committees. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
A fair and prompt judicial sector, they say, is the last hope for the common man. This is the more reason that in Kebbi State, the governor, Nasir Idris, is poised to revamping the sector with the setting up of a committee saddled with the implementation of desired reforms. Abdul Muhammad Bawa reports.
The inauguration of the Kebbi State Justice Sector Reform Team was born out of the need to improve the state judicial system. The template for the reform was coined from the federal government justice reform launch in the year 2022. The Justice Reform Team in Kebbi State is saddled with the responsibility of reforming the justice sector in the state to ensure speedy dispensation of justice, better coordination and capacity building, reduction of right violation cases, as well as provision of legal advices, among others.
This is an avenue whereby all the relevant stakeholders will come together to ensure coordination and strategic planning of justice delivery to the good people of Kebbi State.
I therefore solicit on behalf of the members of the steering committee of the Kebbi State Justice Sector Reform Team for your support towards the achievement of these laudable objectives.
Governor Nasir Idris charged the reform team to work assiduously with the progress of the state and its people in mind.
My administration is ready to provide further support and assistance related to improving access to justice, enhancing the quality and the timeless of the justice delivery.
The governor donated 100 million naira for the completion of the Nigerian Bar Association Secretariat in the state. Gender Violence Support Unit and Public Complaint Unit committees were also inaugurated under the Justice Reform Sector team. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Ba, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Sokoto. Is back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Asmao. The anti-bunkering squad of the Nigerian Hunters and Forestry Security Service has apprehended crude oil thieves and destroyed 250 meters hose of Western pipes from oil company operating in Rivers State. The reinforcement for the operation was granted by the Commandant General of the service, Wale Joshua Osatimehi, to ensure criminals troubling the nation's wealth are dealt with. The Civilian Joint Task Force has also merged with the Nigerian Hunters and Forestry Security Service to tame the tides of bunkering and support federal government's efforts in boosting revenue drive. If you recall, in 2023, former President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act that was in 2018. Well, a few years down the line, key players in disability matter are reviewing the act to ascertain the level of compliance as well as identify the gaps in the law for better enforcement. Elizabeth Omori reports that the National Commission for Persons with Disability and other partners say even after signing of the act, persons with disabilities are still faced with several human rights abuses.
That MDS, very soon we are going to start a pilot basis. You will see that they will comply, and any ministry that they did not comply, honestly, we are going to seal that ministry.
Special education is a training for teacher education, which are supposed to train experts who can handle persons with disability within the classroom settings.
Well, compliance to the law, the Chairman House Committee on Disability Matters say will begin from MDAs. Issues bordering on inclusivity, accessibility, healthcare and employment were part of issues raised during the meeting. All right, let's bring you a sports update.
The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, wants Nigerians to give maximum support to the newly appointed coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles, Finidi George, for him to succeed on his new assignment. The minister stated this while unveiling the new Super Eagles coach at the media center at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja.
I'm glad at the level of calmness that greeted the appointment of Finidi George. When you take a good decision, you find the reaction very calm.
So we don't interfere in what you are going to do. We take an oath, and you make a promise that you are going to do it to the best of your ability, and you are going to give us the best for Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Finidi George, says he hopes to meet the expectations of Nigerians by running a result-oriented program that will bring glory to the national team by infusing local players to the pool of current Eagle squad where necessary. This follows his official unveiling as the new manager of the national team in Abuja.
We just have to focus on areas I think they can help us. You can't overhaul a team that came out second in the last AFCON.
The Renaissance Berkane of Morocco defeated Cairo Giants Zamalek of Egypt 2-1 in the African Confederations Cup first leg final at the Municipal Stadium on Sunday, ahead of the return leg in a week's time. The return leg in Cairo next week will see Berkane, winners of 2020 and 2022, seeking a third success in the continent's secondary club competition. On a sad note, Nigerians, including former Super Eagles captain and coach Austin Eguavoin, have been commiserating with the family of former Super Eagles winger Tijani Babangida, who survived a ghastly motor accident along Kaduna Zaria Highway, which claimed the life of his one-year-old son Fadil.
We wish him to come back stronger and stronger. It's not going to be easy, but definitely it is something he has to overcome very quick.
Babangida's wife was said to have lost an eye due to severe injury to her face, while he also lost his brother Ibrahim in the accident. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Ejemodu, NTA News.
We conclude Nationwide. Thank you for your company. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.